Alright guys, welcome YouTubers. This is my version of why the 2016 election is over. Before it starts, I know there's a bit to go and some more campaigning to go, but it's not good if you're a Republican. And the reason why I'm going to say that is if I can get this thing to go to the next screen. Here's the 2012 election, and it was Obama versus Romney. As we all know, Obama won. And it's important to look at that, just the total voting population. I'm breaking it down here just to show you what segments went where, and then I'll bring it up to say why I think that's going to change this time, but not in the Republicans' manner. So the total voting people who vote, I don't know how many eligible vote, but roughly 132 million vote, and that changes a little bit, grows a little bit every election, but doesn't change a whole lot. And that constitutes 71 million women and 61 million men. So the women have the majority by quite a bit. Women for Obama last time were 55 to 44. I know there's another percentage in there somewhere, but it was random people. That's the way elections sort of work. So it's 11-point spread. And so Obama won, gained about 8 million votes there. On the men's side, it was exactly the opposite, mostly Republican. 52 to 45, 7 percentile difference, or 4 million votes. So that's where Obama won with the women. But if you look a little bit deeper, just interesting stuff. You know, the white women are the majority in the United States. They're 50 million. White men are 45 million. Black women 10. Black men almost 7 or 6.6. Latinos the same men, 6.6. So we're talking about 5 or 6%, 6% women, 8 million Latino women. And then others, they usually don't break apart, so they just listed as 5% of our population. So I just took a 50-50 stab there. It's probably slightly more women than men, but maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, this section here is critical because this is where white women voted the last election. They were sort of overwhelmingly 14% difference towards Romney and the Republicans, gaining about 7 million votes, 28 versus 21 million. I expect that to change this time with Clinton versus Trump. Women aren't going to like Trump. Women are going to like Clinton. So I just don't see. I see that exactly almost reversing to +7 for women. Men were pretty high already. It was 62 to 35, so pretty big gap. It accounted for 12 million votes. They may be closer to nominal 50-50, or the only chance for Trump to win is just blow this number out, go 50-50 with the women, at least on the white side, and see what happens. But here's where Romney got 19 million votes, and the rest of it was all Obama. It was heavy, 96 to 3%, so a 10 million gain in black women and a 5 million gain and 87 to 11. So there's 15 million, and the same thing with Latinos. This was 19 right here, which added up to the total, and the rest he just won on. So I don't expect this to change a whole lot. Maybe it won't be quite as one-sided for women, black women, but we'll see. I think it'll still be pretty heavily Democrat. They've always minorities have always voted Democrat, so I don't expect these to change a whole lot. Again, the white women I expect to change tremendously, and that's why it's just basically over before it started. But good luck to Trump and everybody. Here's a little history lesson. Going back to 1952, where men and women voted. Women tended to be more Republican. Up through 64, and 1964 was also the first year that more women voters outnumbered men voters, and they became largely Democratic, typically more Democratic than their male counterparts. But that was Johnson, and this one was really split, this Nixon vote. And eventually Nixon won, so the men, and then Nixon got reelected. Everybody was high on that side. And then Carter, everybody voted Democrat, not a big marginal difference. And then the difference started to explode. So Reagan, women were slightly Reagan, just 1%, while men were heavily Reagan. The re-election term, again, the secondary term, everybody's pretty happy. Bush, again, the spread was there. And Clinton was heavily, not a big spread there, both men and women towards Clinton. But then the second term of Clinton was all big spread. So you see this thing growing, big gap here between men and women when Clinton second term. This was a Bush and Bush, and with the men, this is what the scenario that Trump needs, where if he wants to win, he's got to get a good majority of men, and the women kind of split it. But it's probably not going to happen because this was Obama's first term. There's a big gap. Obama's second term, big gap, and there'll be a big one, I think it's bigger than this year. So just expect Hillary. So that's it. See ya.